Hello! Here are a few things to know that you're on the right track to making a really awesome MMD video. Now this is for people of any level, but just keep these things in mind. 1, it won't look the way you planned when you start off. Just know that. It's not gonna. It won't happen, but it will eventually, and you're gonna work for it. So don't worry. 2, it's gonna be harder than you first expected when you just had it in your head, you know? It's like it sinks in after you get like 20 seconds in. It sinks in really hard, like Undyne's freaking energy spear. It hurts the heart. 3, at least 3 or more things will go wrong. They will go wrong. Not saying that you won't fix them, or that you can't fix them, but things should go wrong. You should be toying around with junk. Just don't worry. All will be well. 4? What are we on 4? You should probably hate the audio that you're working with by the time you're done. If you haven't been listening to the audio enough that you hate it by the time you're done, you probably haven't worked on it long enough. Though this can vary depending on the length of the audio, if it's somewhere under a minute, but most cases, you should hate it by the time you're done. Next, when you're done with the video, or done with a section of it even, I recommend doing this section per section that you're working on, can you step back, look at it, and honestly say that you're happy? This can vary from person to person yet again, because some people look at their work very harshly and others not as much, and there is a healthy balance that you kind of need to get to, or at least try to get to, that can help you further your work, not be, you know, unfair to yourself, but still push yourself to progress. I never ever know what to think when I see MMD videos where the person writes down in the description, "I'm so freaking proud of this," and I'm like, that is awesome. That's awesome. But then they get braggy about it. And then I look at the animation differently. And then I go into their freaking channel, and I realize that their animation literally hasn't changed in over a year, and they're just, like, consistently keeping the same methods that they've been using, and have not been progressing. And it drives me nuts, because I can see the potential they have, and I'm like, just push a little more, and you can be freaking awesome! That is a pet peeve of mine. Now we're just getting into random tips. I'm not numbering them anymore. Just do this thing for me. Just do this thing for me, just as one MMD user to another. Don't ever stiff arm your model. What I mean by that is when either the shoulders and or arms feel like and look like they're planks of wood that they can't really move right. It drives me bananas. Listen, if you must, look up a realistic looking pose like online just as a reference or something. Don't make their elbows, like, dig into the sides of their torso like they're fused together. That's not how people work. That's not how people move, and it looks really, really not good. One good thing that you can keep in mind that can help combat this is try to always keep your model moving. Naturally, but still just try to keep it moving. Even if it's just the tiniest bit, just some slight swaying, natural swaying animation. Try to work on that and try to make it believable, because that helps bring your character to life. There should never be a moment where your character is on screen and some part of them isn't moving. Not to say that I haven't done this before. Not only have I done this in the past, I am probably going to do it at some point in the future, and either not mean to, or break my own rule because do as I say, not as I do. I'm just trying to give good advice. If you're not gonna storyboard, mental storyboard. If you're not gonna mental storyboard, stop! Like literally, if you're working on like a music video or anything even semi-cinematic, stop if you're not gonna like try to storyboard at all. I don't know how you can do that, but some people do. I don't know how people do that. I don't know how people don't think about a project before they start it, but it's very clear when they do. And like, even when it comes to mental storyboarding, I'm not saying that you're gonna have every single second, every single frame planned out, and some things may change, some things may not. But at least you have like a direction and a place that you know that you're trying to go. That's what you need. That's the important part, the thing that you need to drive towards. You'll get there if you try. But if you... just storyboard for me, please. Make me happy. This one's strictly for music videos, and I only touch upon it because, for some shocking reason, it's not obvious for some people. Pay attention to the beat of the music. Like, seriously, it's the entire driving force behind a music video. You can't, like, ignore the beat. In fact, you want to have as many events as possible happen on the beat. Especially if it's a catchy song. Like, you need that. You really need that. That's all I have to say about it. Just do it. Pay attention to what part of the body leads the movement that you're trying to make. This is mega important, because it changes depending on the type of motion it is. If I end up doing, when I end up doing tutorials, I have to figure out a simpler and clearer way of saying this, because I still haven't, and I've tried several times. A lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, there's a specific order that things move in the body, and that's eyes, head, neck, top of torso, mid-torso, so on and so forth. It goes from the top down, basically. But depending on what type of motion the character would be making, this can change slightly. And depending on what kind of motion you're trying to make as well, this can vary. But it's important to keep some of these things in mind in order to make natural looking motion. Because what a lot of people do, and start off doing, you know, it's just how we learn, you make one pose, and then you make another pose, and then you let MMD just fill in the gap in between, where everything starts at the same time and everything ends at the same time. It looks very unnatural, it looks very janky. But it's just, you know, it's how we all start off. You got to try to switch that up. You gotta just like say, I'm gonna have this bone in the arm, and here I'm gonna have this part of the arm, and here, and start here. It's gonna start a little bit later, it's gonna start a little bit earlier. Mess around with it, and you will be so, just even messing with the wrists. Oh my god, if you have wrist motion like end last sometimes, it looks freaking awesome. Just try it, and you'll see what I mean. In a tutorial, this will be clear. This is not a tutorial, so relax. I'm gonna try to wrap things up because, like, over 8 minutes of me yelling at you is quite long enough. Remember, you can act things out and be your own reference. Sometimes you're the best reference you have. I mean, if you can't figure out how emotion works or you're having trouble with it, act it out yourself. How would you do it? Like, how would you pick up a cup? Would you pick it up janky or would you pick it up smooth? It's just... Of course, it's not that simple, and I'm not saying that it is at all, but just, at the very least, try to examine how you move. And lastly, you must dispel the curse that I see has afflicted a large chunk of the MMD community. Stop being lazy! Or at the very least, get the lazy mentality out of your head. I cannot tell you how many videos I have seen where in the description, it'd be like a work in progress, but they immediately say, oh, I was just too lazy to fix this. Or it's not even a work in progress, because a work in progress is where it's a bit more acceptable. You know, it's like, you're gonna get to it, it's fine, you're gonna get to it. Whatever. When it's a finished project, and there's like, they have to pull out excuses like, I was too lazy to do this, I was too lazy to do that. I'm just like, no! You can do it! You did the rest! You did the rest, you can do it, you can so do it, it'd be 10 times more amazing if you just did it. Because once you get going, if you get into a flow, ooh, nothing can stop you during the flow. I had a flow during that month. A flow? I had major mojo going on when I was working on Enemy Fire, and I still don't know how I worked on it so fast. The mojo, the flow, it worked out for me because I sat down every freaking day and I was really motivated and I said, do it. Don't just look at what I've already done and think about, oh, well, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. Just make some motion and work with it, change it if I need to, but keep making new motion. Don't waste time. I have to tell myself that still, because that's still an issue for me sometimes, and that's how I get stuck with some projects. But I work to get past that, and I keep going. You should too. Don't ever settle. Just, you can do amazing stuff. I believe in you. And on that, I bid you all good day. So, good day.